Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. As always, very happy to have you with us, whether on the live call or on the replay. So thank you for your presence, and also very excited that Gail Lynn is with us on the show. It's the first time she joins us, and the first time I watched her on YouTube on another show, I really felt the authenticity of her message and also the power of the work that she's sharing, and really felt excited when she accepted the invitation. For those of you who are new to her, so she is a visionary inventor and pioneer of vibrational healing. So she will be sharing a little bit about her journey and also the work that she's offering. But also, like the topic for today, the main topic is vibrational healing for health and well-being. So she will be talking about that and how can we bring the chakras and body systems into balance, so we can experience better or optimal health and well-being. And also she will be talking about like the tones of our voice, like how it can affect our body, our state of being, and our health as well. So it will be really fascinating call. So I'm really excited about that. And also, as always, we will have a Q&A where you can ask Gail your questions. So for that, if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing react or reaction, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand, and also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And so that's Gail. Welcome to the show. Very happy to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. I was really excited about this.
Yeah, wonderful. So in the beginning, I would love if you can tell us about yourself, a little bit about your journey, and also the work you are offering.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I don't really know where to start. I was thinking about that this morning. Where do I start? And I always try to, whenever somebody hears me talk, I always try to impart some new knowledge. I know there's a lot of speakers out there and they tell the same story. You know, you read their book and you've heard everything that they're ever going to say. And I want people to leave and say, you know, every time I listen to Gail, I learn something new. Maybe it's about me, maybe it's about yourself. And so, what I was led to discuss today was more talking about my dad and, you know, how that influenced myself in my life. My dad had a seventh grade education and he was a factory worker, but he had common sense. And I believe that in today's world, we've lost common sense. And I want to encourage people to use common sense, bring common sense back, critical thinking. And that's what my dad taught me. He taught me to critically think. And you know, we don't know when we're little kids that we're gifted. We don't know that we have a superpower. Because when we're little, we think everybody can do this. Everybody can pick up a book and find the answer that they're looking for. Everybody can master a sport. So when I was a kid, I started out playing t-ball. Now t-ball is like a baseball, but there's a little T and they put the ball on it and then you just hit it off the tee. And no matter what I tried in my life, I was good at it. I could master it. And I've always thought, well, it's just my dad using the common sense approach and my dad teaching me how things work and how to master things. So I was really good at baseball, softball, and then I had asthma, and the doctors told me, you know, you'll never play, you know, softball again. And whenever somebody would tell me you can't do something, it's basically just get out of my way and watch me. And I was in where was I? Idaho, and they have a saying out there: "Hold my beer and watch this." So that's kind of how I was in my life. I'm like, okay, not that I drink a lot of beer, but hold my beer and watch this because I'm going to show you what is the impossible. And so my whole life's been that way. And I thought everybody can do this. Everybody has a superpower. And I believe that. So I had asthma. They said I would never play softball. I played for 30 years. Then I had a challenge where somebody said, I bet you can't make the basketball team if you have asthma. So I tried out for the basketball team and I made it. So all my life, I've always been, thinking that everybody can accomplish whatever they want, whenever they want. So I worked in engineering and automotive the first part of my life until I was around 28. Um, then I went into telecommunications and mastered that. And, life has just always been really easy for me. And then I went into Hollywood and people said, oh, like, who are you to think that you could make a movie? Have you ever done this before? And I said, no, but how hard can it be? It was very hard. Let me just say, it was probably one of the most challenging things that I've ever had to do is make a Hollywood film. And the more challenging was the person that I did it with was Elvis Presley's stepbrother. Yes, Elvis Presley had a stepbrother when his mother, Dee Stanley, married Vernon Presley. So the first film I did was called, um, oh my gosh, was in Protecting the King. I was going down a different path. Protecting the King. So a 16-year-old boy goes to work for his world famous stepbrother and ends up protecting him from everything and everybody but himself. So David was part of the Memphis Mafia, and David was an evangelist, and he was very charismatic, and he was a motivational speaker. But when he was 4 and he met Elvis, Elvis became his father figure, his friend, his mentor. And so he was really down on himself because he said, how can I be better than my father figure? We always want to be better than, our dad or our mom. We want to do more, we want to accomplish more, and they want that for us. And so I said, well, what couldn't Elvis do? And he said, Elvis could do anything. He could go into the president's office. He could go through his desk drawers. He could get a police badge from anywhere and everywhere. And so I said to him, there's got to be something that Elvis couldn't do. And he said, yeah, he always wanted to direct a film, and his management wouldn't let him. He was an actor and he was a singer, and that was it. So I said, well, I guess you're going to direct a film. So we went through this whole journey together. It was very challenging, but it was so rewarding to be able to say, okay, here's now your new gift that that Elvis couldn't do, and now you've done it. So I've always been able to help people do that, and I helped so many of my partners do their dream. And then one day I was like, I have to do my own dream. I can't keep doing things for everybody else and standing in the shadows behind them and pushing them forward. So I became really, really sick. Severe cardiovascular stress was the biggest thing. And the doctors were saying, you're on the verge of an instant heart attack. And I knew that I had a lot to accomplish in this lifetime. And I know your audience is open. They're open to this, but time and time again, I've been told I'm an ascended master living on the planet. That's very humbling. It's very strange when people meet me and they cry, and I'm like, it's just me. I'm not anyone special. We all have superpowers and we're all here to accomplish something. So as soon as I said yes to doing my own dream, life really got easier. And my life was always pretty easy because I could do anything, I could accomplish anything. I took so many challenges on and then I mastered them easy. And we all have this gift, we all have a superpower. So I got really sick, and through a series of synchronicities, which I don't believe there are coincidences or there are no accidents, I found sound and light therapy. Now, in my engineering mind, I thought this is kind of cuckoo crazy stuff. How can I listen to sounds in the light? I have to include light because when I learned about sound and light, the two modalities together are very powerful. And I thought, how can this even work? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I took a deep dive starting in about 2007 into sound and light therapy. Why does it work? And at the core, we're vibrational beings of light from source. So vibration and light is how we should be healing, and it made common sense to me. And the miraculous healings that were happening with sound and light were just mind boggling to me. I ended up opening a center in 2010 to help people to heal using sound and light, and just kept taking deep dives. Every time a client came in, I would say, okay, what do they want for their session? And how can I facilitate them? How can I educate them? How can I help them to heal themselves? I wanted to empower people because we've been so disempowered through our medical system. We go to a doctor and we say, what do we do? How much do we take? How long will this take? When we should be asking our own selves and our own bodies, sitting in silence and really figuring out like what the messages are that your body's giving you when you have a disease. So over time, I created the Harmonic Egg. It's a sound and light healing chamber. Some of my influencers were Din Shah with the spectrochrome light therapy device, Royal Rife with his Rife frequencies, Wilhelm Reich with the Oregon box, Nikola Tesla with Tesla mathematics, and just really starting to bring this together into also the age of Aquarius and a divine feminine technology in the shape of an egg. That's like our cocoon. It's a womb. It's where life begins inside of an egg. And then I was always taking it a step forward. One of my mentors called it plussing your idea. So I'm like, how can I plus this idea? Using MP3 files isn't good because they're compressed music files. So they can get really confusing to the nervous system because if you're listening to a compressed file, you're not getting the true quality of the music. So we use WAV files so that you get the full expression of the music and there's no confusion to the nervous system as to what that piece of music is and what's coming through your hearing. So inside the chamber of the egg, it also had to be wood because when you use a natural substance like that, it's like an acoustic guitar. I don't think metal would sound good in there. Plastic wouldn't sound good in there. We wanted the natural material. We didn't want any kind of artificial material for the acoustics of it. They also wood has beautiful spiritual properties. So kept plussing my ideas to ensure that it was the best healing experience. And the Hippocrates, oath is to do no harm. And so I would go out to my mentors and people who did pendulum work and dowsing. And I said, make sure this is never going to do any harm. And so I have very strict protocols for people to use. And I'm very strict about who gets to purchase an egg because I don't want something that I created to be in the wrong hands and hurt somebody. So then, everybody was talking about the solfeggio suite and, the different 528 hertz for the DNA and the frequency of love. And it just didn't resonate with me that that was how the frequencies should be used for healing. Because what if, and probably all of your audience is vibrating at more than 500 hertz? Because they're on this journey of spirituality and trying to bring science and spirituality together in their mind to make sense of what's going on. And the planet is raising its consciousness and its vibration, so we all are raising our vibration. So I decided that what made more sense was using the waveforms of instruments to influence the healing of the chakras and the nervous system. Whether you believe in the Western medicine or Eastern medicine, I brought those both together to help to bridge that gap between Eastern and Western medicine. And there's a whole story as to why Eastern medicine does what they do and Western medicine does what they do. So I thought if I use the waveforms of instruments and I can identify when a chakra is out of balance, what physical ailments does the body actually exhibit? And then if I can decide, okay, this color will bring the root chakra back into balance along with drumming, and it's the key of C. So my mentor in the toning was Ani Williams, and it's Ani Williams. But I also wanted to look and make sure that she was the one that I wanted to use her results, her research. Because if you go online, you'll find that one musician or one expert says that the heart chakra will heal with the tone of F. And, Ani says it can be C is the big tone to help heal the heart muscle. And so I studied 4 other experts, and Ani was the one that came out on top. She does a voice analysis where when you do a voice analysis, there's a lot of people out there doing it where they're going to say, okay, record yourself saying 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to tell you what tones are missing from your voice. It doesn't work that way. You really have to get into the psyche of the person and ask, okay, how was your childhood? As you're listening to them describe their childhood and how their relationships were with their parents and friends and how their job affects them, you're watching a digital tuner and you're seeing what you're writing down, the tones that you're seeing. You might see G and G sharp and F sharp. Maybe you're missing an A, you're missing an E. Maybe you're holding on to a lot of grief. So that E is the lungs, and that's where the grief is. So what you want to do is you want to then ask them, okay, you have a pain in your body, you have a pain in your hip. Give that an audible voice. And in that place, they're going to say, ugh, or something. And you're going to see that that tone doesn't come through. But then when you ask them, what would the audible voice be if you didn't have to deal with that pain anymore? And maybe they say, oh, and it's just beautiful expression. That's where you're going to see the missing tone come through. Because now they have said in their mind, I don't have this anymore. And that tone shows up. So just by saying 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that doesn't give you the full picture. It would be like doing a thyroid test, blood test, and doing TSH and nothing else. You would be getting a picture of the puzzle. And if you had a puzzle with 50 pieces and I showed you one piece, would you be able to tell me what the puzzle is? Probably not. So you have to do T3 free, TPO, T4, to get a full picture of the thyroid. So a lot of people are doing these voice analysis online and they're not getting the full picture. So then you go down a rabbit hole and you think that you're broken, but you're really not, or maybe you're broken in a different way. So what I did is I started to look at how can I bring these things together. One of the greatest books that I read was, it's out of print now, Kay Gardner, Sounding the Inner Landscape. It was a brilliant book that really helped me to figure out which waveforms are going to be good for each piece of music that I consciously create and bring through to the egg. Now, one of my mentors also had told me if a musician has a heart condition and you're listening to that person's music and you're on the same radio station, you can pick up their heart condition. Okay, that in my engineering head, that took a lot for me to figure out. And so if it was true, I have to find musicians who have a high heart energy and just like great vibration so that the music that is in the egg is coming through. And we also have the music that we have for download, and we'll talk about that package in a little bit later. But it's brilliant. And it's not because of me. It's just because of the research that I've done. And I'll say, okay, this song is going to be recorded in the key of B because I know that's going to help the nervous system. So over years and years and years of study, I used to think, like even last year, there's 5 main reasons people get disease. It's stress, it's inflammation, it's an immune system issue, it is heavy metals, or it is, there's one more. Can't think of it right now. Okay, it'll come to me. But if you look at now, why didn't the body detox those heavy metals? The nervous system isn't balanced. Why didn't the body fight off that virus? The nervous system's out of balance. Why is the body handling stress so poorly? The nervous system is out of balance. Why? And everything went back to inflammation is, because of stress, and stress because the nervous system's not functioning properly. So now you're seeing a lot of people talking about the nervous system, the ANS, the vagus nerve, the sympathetic, the parasympathetic. And so I was bringing that all together. And the superpower of the egg is to actually reset the nervous system. I'm going to take a pause in case there's any questions, because I can talk about this for 17 million hours.
Uh, yeah, first, thank you. That was really fascinating to learn um, about like how our voice can really affect our state of being, like physically or emotionally. Yeah, and also you just talked about the nervous system and how is it really important, because it's based on that. It's like it defines how we react or how we approach our life experiences. Um, and the more it is calm, the more we can discern what's like take actions that feel more aligned with our heart. So yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. Yeah.
Well, and so I made a little chart. So and people will probably want to go back and listen to this again, but I made a little chart and I'll kind of go through some of the different logic behind the different chakras and how they relate to the tone. So, root chakra usually comes back into balance with the key of C or C sharp. In astrology, it would be Aries and Taurus for the root chakra. So this is just fascinating to me. And Ani Williams is brilliant and she teaches this, but she brings astrology into the mix as well. So when you are born, sometimes the planet is missing a different tone when you're born. So a lot of times you go through life missing that. So people will say, oh, Scorpios tend to have, colon issues. Well, you don't have to. It's just because maybe when you were born, that tone was missing. So you got to replenish that. So the colors for that are red, and C sharp is like a reddish orange. The instruments for that would be drumming and bass instruments. So you trombone, tuba, really deep bass instruments will help bring the root chakra back into balance. And that is the survival chakra. So a lot of times you'll see survival issues with, knees, your feet that you walk with, your taste, your hearing, your sight, survival type things. So that will be root chakra. So sacral chakra is the next one up. D and D sharp associated with Gemini and Cancer. Orange and orange yellows, and then flute music will help with that. I've also noticed that flute music is a very simple waveform. The flute is a very simple waveform and brings the that sacral chakra back into balance, but it's also with the liver. After seeing 20,000 clients, I realized a lot of the clients would be on flute music and they would always report they felt it in their right side, right underneath their rib, which is where your liver is. And that's also associated with anger. And a lot of people are angry right now, and it's just really sad. I mean, I get my bouts of anger as well. But that was the other one is fatty liver is the other one. I thought the five, that's the one I forgot. And so I think the keto diets and all the anger on the planet has contributed to an epidemic of fatty liver disease where, even non-alcoholics are seeing cirrhosis of the liver. And we just got to let go of some of that anger. And social media is not helping. We have to start to come into community and stop fighting with each other on social media. It's easy to hide behind your computer and fight with somebody, but when you're with them and you can see their body language, we need to be less judgmental and more kind to each other. And that's what my documentary was about, called It's Time. The next one is the solar plexus chakra, D sharp and E. Cancer and Leo are the astrology signs for those. Orange and then yellow-ish, yellow kind of colors, and then harp music. And so you'll see that some of these overlap because as our body is, coming into balance, there's going to be things that are going to overlap. And it's just really how the body works. It's so brilliant. The solar plexus chakra is more about our personal empowerment and where we, hold that personal power. So the next one's the heart chakra, F and F sharp, Virgo and Libra, shades of greens. Bells will bring that back into balance, as well as like string instruments. We talk about the heart strings, and you have violin, cello, gosh, any kind of guitars. So it just helps the heart chakra come into balance. Then you have the throat chakra, where a lot of people have a lot of stuff going on with the thyroid, and because they don't have a voice. They don't have a voice at work, they don't have a voice with their partners, they don't have a voice with their children. So you'll see a lot of things going on in the throat chakra. It's G and G sharp, Scorpio and Sagittarius, and like blue, greens, light blue, lights, colored, and then brass instruments. So different kind of, anything that's the brass, like the trumpet, etc., and violin. The third eye chakra, A and A sharp, Capricorn and Aquarius, and it's a lot of indigos and purples, and chimes and piano will help with that. People who have had brain tumors and different things like that, you'll see a lot of imbalances in the third eye chakra. The crown chakra is the key of B, Pisces, the color magenta. Piano and string instruments will also help. And this is, kind of with the nervous system as well. So it's so interesting because there's over 400 published scientific papers that prove the efficacy of sound therapy, light therapy, and it's just bringing the body back into balance. And we're vibrational beings of light from source, from God. Um, what is the music for the sacral chakra? I see in the chat. So that would be flute. So you think about where the sacral chakra is, and it's going to really help with a lot of those organs that align with the sacral chakra. So orange and flute music. And so I just really have found that um, this really works. Like I said, I've had over 20,000 clients, and they would report these amazing things that happen to them, which in my engineering mind, I was like, really? How is this actually working? Um, but I also bring together the spiritual forces of sound and light, which Edgar Cayce said would be a great modality for the future in the 1940s before he passed away. And here it is now, we are in the future.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Gail. Um, yeah, it's really fascinating. It's like, as you say, the more we listen to you, the more we discover new information, and it's like you give us the understanding about how our body can react to sound. And then I really like that there is this connection between our organs, like the different parts of our body, and each vibration or kind of sound, it works better for that. So it's really can make it more easy for us to through our healing when we have this clarity and this understanding. So yeah, thank you for that. And let's see. Also, I would love, because you talked a little bit about the harmonic egg, about the vibration, the voice. I would love if you can tell us about some experiences of your clients that they had, because I read some of them and they were really, really powerful. So I also would love if you can share that with our audience.
Absolutely. I am always amazed. I had a lady recently who said that her son had committed suicide. I don't know. Monsef, do you have an image of the egg that you could share? It's on
Uh,
harmonicegg.com. You can
yeah,
see
I
it.
will
But
open your website and.
okay. So she had her son commit suicide, and unfortunately, lots of people are committing suicide right now, and it's just really sad. Um, but she said she was going to go right behind him and commit suicide, and she sent this beautiful letter to me that said after her egg session, she no longer wanted to commit suicide. She knew she was here for a purpose, and she was also able to connect with her son through the egg. The egg actually, and sound and light therapy, I don't want to sound biased or doing an infomercial, but I know the egg, and I have a home unit called the Lift, is like a healing accelerator, but it's sound and light therapy. So you could do this stuff at home. You can listen to the music at home. You could get a colored light bulb from, the internet, purchase it, or, a local store. And you could do this at home. You can use a pitch pipe. I don't know if people know what that is, but it is a little harmonic device that people use to tune their instruments. But you can blow into that, holding it with your fingertips and then onto your lips, and you can blow into it, and you can dial it to like D or G or A sharp, and you can replenish your tones that way. So you can do this at home. I mean, people say, "Oh, I can't afford to heal." Yes, you can, because there's a lot of things you can do at home. So that was one story. How many of you believe that our organs can regenerate? I see another thing in the chat here. I'll look at it in a minute. If you don't believe that, then it's just an amnesia. We just don't remember that we can do that. So yeah, your audience is like, for sure, yeah, for sure. So I've seen people with um, heart issues and kidney issues where the kidney had stopped functioning after several egg sessions. The kidneys were functioning again. The heart has fully regenerated. One of the people that I know, his ejection fraction and cardiac output numbers, when he had his heart attack and had a pacemaker put in and had stents put in, 40% of his heart died. And those numbers showed that 40% of his heart was dead. I had a lot of medical doctors that came into my center, naturopathic doctors. It was called Healing the Healers Center. I don't know how that happened, but the healers would come to me. Massage therapists, acupuncturists, chiropractors, my horse's veterinarian, my horse's chiropractor, they all came to the center to do their own healing. And so one of the medical doctors said, give me this guy's ejection fraction and cardiac output numbers, because he had to have the battery replaced after 10 years in his pacemaker. He said, and I'll tell you how much of his heart is still dead. Okay, great. I get the numbers. I give it to him. He looks at the numbers. He looks super confused. He looks at me. He looks at the numbers. He's like, this heart is fully functioning. So the heart regenerated. And my other client, who was he was a military Marine, and he was in a Battle of Hastings. It was called the Battle of Hastings. And if I remember the story's in my book, but he, like 3,000 Marines went in, and, maybe 12 of them came out. So he lost so many people in his, you know, um, military career. And interestingly enough, there's still a lot of fear. So the kidneys are where you hold the fear. And one of his kidneys was dead, and one was functioning very, very small. After a number of sessions, his kidneys started functioning again, the one that was dead, and the other one increased. Well, this was an older gentleman, and he didn't really want to tell the doctors he was going into a large wooden egg, and this is how it happened. So he just didn't tell them anything. He said, I don't know, I guess, I'm healing. But they couldn't figure it out. And they even measured his heart because they were so confused. And they said, your heart grew by a centimeter. Why? What are you doing? He said, I'm just doing whatever, whatever you tell me to do. So it's been really interesting to see the different levels. I had, let me go back to the chat here. How does this relate to hertz? Is each note a specific hertz? Okay, so I use the waveforms of instruments more than the hertz, but yes, there are studies that say, the root chakra is 396 hertz, or the heart chakra is 639 hertz. But I don't really pay attention to that, because I do believe we're all different galactic beings vibrating at different hertz levels. So, but anyway, the clients have been so amazing. There was a doctor that came in, and he had allergies for like 40 years. And after the session, the allergies were gone. But it's really hard when you go inside of a large wooden egg and then something goes away. So, especially with doctors, they're sometimes hard to convince that it was from the actual egg. And so he said, well, summertime just started, the weather started getting better, and, it's you have to try to make it work in your head. Gail's volume is much lower than mine, Seth. Let me turn up my volume. That's okay. I don't know if there's anything you can adjust on your end. All right, so I recently hurt my lower back trying to lift something heavy. Is there a tone or note musical key I could sing I'm not a pro, but I love to think that I can sing well. Yeah. So a lot of times that's a message from your body. Lower back pain can be financial stress, and it can also be, if it's L4 and L5, it could be about abandonment. So maybe there's something coming up for you to heal around abandonment or financial issues. You do not have to, say anything about that, but just kind of keep that in mind. I would work more on the sacral chakra. So some flute music, some orange light, maybe some red light with the root chakra for survival as well. And some drumming. Drumming really helps with physical issues. I'm trying to talk louder so that can maybe change the lower volume. Gail,
Yeah,
can you say how many sessions? Go ahead, Mansa.
yeah, just wanted to say if Keshi can increase the volume, and yeah, it will be
Yeah,
clear. Also, I wanted to share the harmonic egg image. I'm not sure. Are you able to see it?
I can see it. Yeah, so I'm going to see if I
Okay.
can increase the volume, input volume. Is that better?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Now it's
I,
better.
okay,
Yeah,
I found a Zoom setting that I could increase my volume. Is that too much now?
it's good. Now it's good.
Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
wish I would have known about that before. Thank you for putting that in the chat because I didn't know.
Mm.
We did a test prior to the call. Okay, so Gail, how many sessions they had to heal their organs? My daughter has chronic kidney disease and has had 4 sessions in the egg. Oh, thank you. So far, the kidney function has gone up 2%. Now she's at 17%. Can you remind me what colors of music that you can use outside the egg? So let me see. For kidneys, I have to go look because I can't remember all of the stuff. But I think, let me look here. I have tons of charts and all of my training materials and so on and so forth. So let me look and see if I can find it quickly, but I'm not seeing it quickly. So one thing with kidney issues too, you want to stay away from animal proteins for a while because it can affect the healing of the kidneys. So your center owner that you're going to, you can actually go and talk to them about the colors and music they can use outside the egg because I don't want to waste time, looking at my little charts here. But the center owner that you're going to, they'll be able to access all their training information and help you to identify that. All right.
Yeah.
So, what I believe the
Beautiful.
egg does.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, what I believe the egg does and sound and light therapy, it lifts the veil. It helps people to see more clearly and to, like maybe give their ego permission to believe in magic. Once your logical mind is satisfied, you can kind of surrender to the magic. And hopefully, I've given you guys enough information about the research and how waveforms work and how we all have tones in our voices. And now, there can be some magic. Our bodies are magical and they can heal innately. That's one of our God-given gifts is that we have these beautiful bodies that can heal because the body doesn't know disease by name. And it's just for you to spend some time in silence to listen to what your body is saying. So there could be 3 people skiing down the mountain because I live in Colorado, and they all 3 fall at the same time down the same hill. One of them is fine. They just get up and start skiing again. One of them maybe breaks their right hip and the other one hurts the left side of their neck. Those are messages from the body. The body's trying to get your attention. And sometimes it'll be a whisper, sometimes a nudge, and then you get the hammer if you don't listen. So a lot of the times the hammer is cancer and different stage 4 illnesses because you haven't been listening. If you really go back and think about it, you're like, wait a minute, this happened and then this happened and I didn't listen and then this happened and now I have something really bad. So I don't believe the body knows disease by name, and I think the bodies have an innate ability to heal, and we're all magical beings, but we got to listen. We have to really pay attention to what our body is saying. The right side of the body is more the masculine energy, the left side is the feminine energy and the receiving. So everything is going to be a message from your body that you need to pay attention to. And remove that amnesia of what we are taught, that we don't have power, that we don't have the ability to heal on our own, that we need all these medicines and surgeries and pills to heal, but yet everything that we need to heal is within us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gail. And so we have more questions and some of our audience raising their hands. We will go through that in a little bit.
Okay.
I just would love if we can take some time to talk about the program you are offering. It includes the Unlocking the Ancient Secrets to Healing. It's an ebook that I showed in your website before. And also there is Awaken the Roots of Healing with Harmonic Egg Wellness Tracks. So these are 6 audio tracks with their own notes. So I invite everyone to follow with us on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Gail and number 31. yourdivineuniqueness.com, Gail 31. GAIL and 31. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description, and I will put it on the chat boxes. So yeah, so Gail, I would love if you can tell us about this program.
So I think the book is really powerful, and I hope that everybody gets a chance to read it. It's a little bit of my story. I really wanted it to be from anonymous. I didn't want to be out in the limelight. I didn't want to be, people. I go places sometimes. People are like, "Oh my God, you invented the egg." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm just trying to grocery shop." The last time I was at the hot springs, no makeup on. I was in the hot springs sweating and soaking, and she's like, "Oh my God, can I get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Sure." So the book is fascinating. It's how my journey progressed to this, and I think that all of you have a superpower, and so hopefully it'll be inspirational to you. But it also talks about, there's 90 different references in the book as to why sound and light healing works. There's testimonials from clients. And then at the end of the book, there's an appendix that talks about the different chakras and the different colors. And so you can, if you're interested in that, just go to the end of the book and check it out there. Every single piece of music is consciously created. So we gave this offer, half a dozen song selections for you to listen to at home. Each one will have a song sheet, and they're brilliant. It'll tell you what colors that this song was intended for and what the intention of the song is. Sometimes we have musicians' notes on what they were thinking when they created the piece. It'll tell you which organs and chakras it's associated with, how it can help you. And then while you're listening to the music, you can wear the colors that are intended as you're integrating that piece of music. You can eat the colors. I always say everybody should eat the rainbow. So eat the colors of the rainbow to get all those good nutrients. I believe that each color holds a different mineral or a different vitamin, and it's brilliant. Our bodies are so amazing. But if your nervous system is out of balance, no matter how many supplements or medicines or beautiful organic foods you eat, you're not absorbing it. So you want to make sure you work on your nervous system, reset that nervous system. A lot of the pieces of music, mostly all of them, I guess they're all intended to help reset the nervous system. And it takes years. When you're stuck in fight or flight for so many years, it takes years to get that body back into balance. You think that you're irritated by your task list, or you're triggered by your sister or your mom, but it's really your nervous system. Your nervous system isn't in balance, so you're getting these triggers and you're getting upset about things, and you're not broken. No one's broken. It's just the nervous system's not in balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Gail. Yeah, for sharing your program and the ebook as well. So yeah, and so everyone, the link, as I mentioned before, is on the chat boxes and also on YouTube video description and the website as well. Beautiful. Let's see.
There's another question. I'm new to light language.
Yes.
But it sounds like light language is our own sound healing. Is that correct? I don't know exactly what you're saying, but I don't speak a light language. I don't claim to be a healer, a channeler. My superpower is to help people to get, courage to be brave and do what they're here on the planet to do, and also to master their energy and their emotions. But your voice is your own healing, and humming and different sounds like om is a healing sound. Using the pitch pipe will help if you know what tone is missing from your body, or you can just tone with all of them. It's not going to hurt you. The sound shh is also helpful. The sound of so like a snake is helpful. All these different sounds are amazing and healing, but I don't speak a light language. I know a lot of people do, and I love it. I love listening to them because it sounds so magical. Um, but I don't know if that's what you're saying. I don't know if I answered that question based on what you wrote.
Yeah. Thank you, Gail, and thank you, Renee. We'd love to hear your feedback. You can type it on the chat. And also we have Sue. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, Moniseth. Thank you
Hi,
for
Sue.
taking my call. Hi, Gail. My name is Sue.
Hi,
Thank you. You gave me some helpful information. I have a ring that's like an orange-red diamond, and I heard today, put it on. So I guess it was for this call.
Yay!
You said the sacral chakra has to do with the eyes,
No,
and I
root
am
chakra.
Aries. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's my Aries. I've been doing the red light for like 2 years now. I have retinal degeneration. Moniseth's aware of this, so I'm on the phone. That's the reason, because of the central vision. I went to the retinal doctor yesterday, and he said everything has been stable now for like 2 years. But yet, he didn't really say that the retina was regenerating or improving. He said it's kind of like there's really been no, it hasn't gotten worse. He just says it's stable. But then he's a medical doctor, so he's not going to get into the other, logistics of it. And I was told, though, that the infrared does help regenerate the retinal cells. But yet why, after 2 years of doing this, it's not kind of regenerating itself? What am I doing wrong?
So, Sue, lovely to meet you. You're not doing anything wrong, but I think maybe some more support for your nervous system is going to help. Um, you sometimes have to let it go and let it flow. And maybe you're so stressed out about why it's stable and it's not getting better. Sometimes you just have to let it go for things to get better. So I would say listen to some drumming music and then also tune into your higher self. What is it that you don't want to see? Because if your eyes are affected, there's some emotional thing that you don't want to see, that you have to accept, that you have to start to learn to love and accept. And there's a whole lot. My vision got blurry when all this stuff happened with the government, and I was like, oh crap, there's things I don't want to see. So I have to start
Mm-hmm.
loving everything that's going on and accepting it, so that, and my vision cleared up after that. So think about what the eyes are for. It's for seeing. So also think in terms of what don't you want to see. Now, red light therapy is beautiful and brilliant and lovely, but you can do too much of it as well. It's very
Oh,
stimulating. Yeah, it's very stimulating and can be overstimulating. I don't recommend it for animals or children because it is so stimulating. So I would get some soothing blue light. That just
uh-huh.
popped into it just popped into my head for you. Some soothing blue light that maybe will help. There might be some inflammation because blue light helps with inflammation. So
Oh,
just consider
okay.
those things. I think those are good tips for you. Does that help?
Do you just get like a blue light bulb, or is
Yeah.
there certain?
Yep. You absolutely can just get a blue light bulb and try to get an
Oh,
incandescent one and not an LED one. Try to get an incandescent light bulb, and they're still for sale and available.
oh, okay. And my other quick question is, I had a severe brain injury from a car accident, and that did affect the eyesight, started going downhill after that. So you said about the third eye. Now, I've been seeing indigo and violet a lot. It's like my body's trying to heal, but yet the brain and eye still can't connect.
Yeah.
Like there's still missing pieces, I call it.
Right.
And what could I do, maybe either light or music, whatever, to help that?
So that would be, you want to do more of sitting in silence. Are you doing a lot of sitting in silence and talking to yourself and your body?
Yeah, I've been telling my body, you know, listen up here now. I've been talking to it and saying, you know, it's safe, it's trusting, it's okay. And I even do the Puna Pona prayer a lot on it, on my eyes and my brain, which does help. But like the brain is almost like, I ain't doing that right now. It's almost like it's argumentative with me. It'll just kind of like zone out and shut down and say, I don't want to listen to you right now.
Okay, so I'm feeling like it's part of your ego. And so you might want to have some discussions with the ego and give the ego permission to believe in magic. That would be one thing. And then chimes for the third eye chakra, chimes and piano music. So some beautiful chimes. Maybe you can even hang some chimes outside. And I don't know where you live. And if it's warm, you can listen to the wind blowing through the chimes and sitting in silence and asking your body for what it needs next. But I think you're already listening to your body. You're telling me that you're seeing indigo and purples and your body's wanting that, and your intuition told you to put that ring on. You're doing a great job. And so, but just be patient with yourself and be patient with your body. It took me 3 years to heal my liver. And I've been working on my nervous system for 19 years because I run an international business and I'm supporting 250 egg owners. And I have, you know, my own life. I have a boyfriend and a house and a horse and cats, and, you know, and life can get overwhelming really quickly. So, you know, you always have to be working to reset the nervous system.
Yeah, because I do like the music therapy. The one lady created music where it's like layers of it, and my body really responds to it. Like it'll tell me, do this today, do that. Okay, I do. And but I know the chakras. How do I get them back in balance? I feel like part of me is one way, and the other chakras are another way.
Okay,
They're
so
like
Eastern
not communicating with each other.
Yeah. Eastern medicine is saying, you know, chakras. Western medicine is the nervous system. So bringing those both together, you're working on them together. So colors and the sounds that we talked about are going to help. But also just getting your mind right and believing that you are magical and that you can heal. Everything that hurts on you, look at what is the reason for that. Like I said with the eyes, what do the eyes do? There's a great book called Soul Speak by Julia Cannon. It's Dolores Cannon's daughter, and she gives a great analogy of, you know, if your neck's sore or hurting, what is the neck for? So you see, oh, I can turn my head and see different things. What don't I want to turn my head to see? So look at different aspects of the parts of the body that are hurting. What are they for? And what is your body trying to tell you?
And you're right. Mine's mainly on the left side, which is more feminine, where a lot of this stuff has occurred. It's kind of weird. But I know what the main one is. I don't want to see abandonment again.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the left side is also your receiving side. Are you in balance? Are you able to, I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like you're more of a giver and maybe there's not balance in receiving.
Right.
Learn how to receive.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I have a hard time receiving because I lost my independence. I'm getting better at it. I am. But my husband even says to me, like, the spirit will channel through him sometimes and just say, listen up, Sue. Like, oh, lecture time. And they said, you didn't learn yet, did you? You didn't learn yet. And I knew what they meant, receiving. See, I'm still going against the grain, and I can't. It's just, I don't know why that's another thing. I don't understand why I'm doing that. I don't do it all the time, but every now and then I still, and then I get knocked back. Like you said, you get down because the hammer comes out.
Absolutely.
It's
And
like,
you can
okay,
do it. You are magical. And it could be simple. I went to a gas station one day because I just decided I want a little bag of chips. I got a tiny little bag of chips. And it was like 27 cents or whatever, $1.27. And I gave the guy $1.25. And he was trying to say, I'll give you those 2 pennies. But then I gave him a nickel. And he was a young kid. And he was like, you know what? You need to learn how to receive. And I was like, oh my God, like an angel came to me because he was trying to give me something and I ended up giving him more back. And, he said, I think you need to learn to receive. Yeah.
Right.
And so, but just listen to those people that come to you like angels even at the gas station, and learn to receive and try not to be uncomfortable with it. And the more you learn to use that muscle, because it's a muscle to learn to receive, the better you'll feel. But it'll take a lot of practice to learn to receive. Just kind of just grit your teeth and say thank you, and just accept the giving.
Know what you're saying? Yeah, it's like sometimes it comes easy, and other times it's like, okay, I get it. Like I almost feel like this little tap, like listen up, like what are you doing? It's like okay, but you're right. When you said left side is receiving, I went, and every time I don't, I kind of injure that side, and that's where the receiving comes in. That's the hammer, like you said. They're letting me know, listen up, you're not learning, you're going against the grain, so now we have to smack you a little bit to get you on the right path again.
Sue, I have been smacked so many times. I feel like I'm a Scorpio and a stellium Scorpio, very stubborn. But when this egg came through, I said no. And I got hit upside the head with the hammer bad before I said yes. So just know we all have these struggles in the human form, even though we probably just don't remember that we signed up to do this. And we have to get smacked around a little bit until we realize that we have to do this because this is what we came here to do.
I know. Next time I'm going to read the fine print before I sign my contract.
I love it. You're funny.
Oh, gosh. You have to laugh at times, it's the way it is. But thank you. So for the brain, what color? Could I use any color for that?
Indigos and purples I would use.
Sometimes I put on my lilac or purple clothing that day. And
I love it.
Yeah, it's funny. They color coordinate me some days, I guess, of what I need. Well, thank you very much. I mean, you really gave me a lot of great information that will help me on my journey. So thank you and blessings to you.
Blessings to you. It was nice to meet you, Sue.
It's very nice to talk and meet you too. I can feel your beautiful energy, so thank you for that.
Thank you. I do my best.
And you do. And thank you, Monisette. Blessings and lots of love to you too, and have a great day.
You too, Sue. Thank you. Beautiful. And thank you very much, Gail, for all the information. So we will come to Tatiana. If you can unmute yourself. I just want to read the feedback from Renee. She wrote, light language feels like humming, actually. Thank you. So Tatiana.
Hello.
Please ask your question.
Tatiana,
Hello.
nice to meet you.
Hello, Gail. Nice to meet you. So half of my life I played violin. I played in an orchestra, so I suppose I was listening to all the instruments. And recently it hit me, the thought that actually I felt better physically. I didn't look my age, and I probably was more balanced. And then I kind of moved the country and got married and started kind of being a housewife. And I think it greatly affected me that I didn't play much and I didn't listen to the music much either, especially to the classical music. And so I still think that my first chakra, my base chakra, basic chakra, whatever you call it, I had a problem with power and receiving. So I think I was you said violin is a lot of chakras is good. Violin for a lot of chakras, right?
So I didn't understand with your accent. What do you mean?
You said that violin sound is good for many chakras.
Volume?
Violin. Sorry,
Violin.
violin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yes,
No, it's
violin.
my accent.
No,
Yes.
because the string instruments, think about heartstrings and then the crown chakra, string
Mhm.
instruments, and the root chakra is more like the drumming and the tuba and
The drumming
the
tuba.
bass, the real heavy bass stuff. Yeah.
So if I just play violin, can I just toning every tone that you said, just balance my chakras, or I still need to listen to kind of orchestra music or to the other instruments, as you mentioned, piano or brass instruments and stuff?
So I think that you have to figure out what's going on and where you want to focus in your body. If you can tone your violin to, like, I know one guy, his cello only tones to the key of G in 440 hertz. It won't, it will sound terrible, he said, if he tries to tune it to something else. But if you can do that, absolutely, that would be brilliant. And you have to figure out what is it that you want to work on in your body to determine what colors and what instruments you listen to. But I think, we should always have a good, more worldly view of everything. So it's better to listen to all the different instruments and just kind of see how they play out in your body. I think
And
we need a lot of it.
thank you. And if we think of self-confidence, is it connected to chakra? And then which instrument would it be connected to?
So that would be the solar plexus chakra, and it would be yellow light and harp music. So you could listen to some harp music, which is also a string instrument.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's what I should work on my self-confidence, I think. Then it will open other stuff in me. Thank you very much. You gave me a lot of new information I didn't know about.
Well,
Thank you.
and there's one more tip for you too, and for
yes.
everybody. You can also do muscle checking. I don't know if anybody does muscle checking, and they ask the body for inner guidance. So a lot of times you can do something very simple and very playful. I do the tilt test. So if you're standing up, your knees are slightly bent, and you maybe put a Hershey bar and at your solar plexus chakra, most likely your body was going to say that you don't need that. So you should lean back a little bit. If you put a beautiful organic apple, at your solar plexus chakra and ask, does my body need this? You should get a yes, which you would tilt forward. So you might be able to even do that with music and say, hey, is violin the best thing for me today? And maybe just do some playing and asking your body and start trusting your body. That will also help strengthen your intuitive muscle, and you'll become more intuitive. And we all will make a ton of mistakes in our lifetime, because if we were perfect, we wouldn't need to be here. But you can also start listening to your body and asking your body and playing. I go to the grocery store. I'm like, do I need an orange or an apple or a banana? And I just muscle check, and it's just fun. It's just fun to play with.
Yeah, I should use it more often. I just know a lot of stuff, but I don't use it for myself. I just advise it to other people. It's very strange. It is self-love. Thank you, Monzab.
Thank you, Tatiana. Much love.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And thank you so much, Gail, as well. And we have a question on YouTube from Jane. Just diagnosed with CKD stage 3. What tracks are best to improve this condition? Also, bone health, diagnosed with osteoporosis. Any tracks for that?
So I think that's going to stem back to the nervous system. So piano music and blue and purple lights are what's coming up for me for Jane. Just a lot of piano music, really calming. The piano has a waveform that kind of looks like the EKG of the body. And so I would say piano music, blue and purple light is what's coming through for that. Now, bone issues can be about the root chakra, but I think that I would start out with the blue and purple light and the nervous system. And I think that that might just spill into fixing, you know, the rest of the body. When our bodies are imbalanced, they can innately heal themselves. We just have to give them the love and the time and the patience. And it can be very scary. I totally get it can be so scary. But living in fear then lowers our vibration and then it creates more illness and disease.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's some chat stuff going on.
Yeah.
Is the chart you are referring to in your book? So the chart I have in my training manual for all the center owners is called Sangaya charts from Ani Williams, ANI Williams.com. There is an appendix in the back of the book that describes a lot of what's in these charts, but not fully the charts. Tina, what do you suggest for painful menstrual cramps? You ready for this? Kiwi, green kiwi. Oh my gosh, it is brilliant for menstrual cramps. It was better than Midol and Motrin, and I used to have them. Also, you should maybe get tested for Epstein-Barr virus. It seems to be that Epstein-Barr virus has a lot to do with heavy bleeding and really bad menstrual cramps. They wanted to do a hysterectomy on me, and at one point I thought I don't want to get a hysterectomy. So when I started going down the rabbit trail of the heavy periods and the cramps, I mean, I was almost doubled over in pain. I'm in menopause now, so yay, no more periods. Kiwi is what helped me the most. And I think it just has a lot of vitamin C in it. And it was the green kiwis, not the golden kiwis. So try that. I mean, it would ease my menstrual cramps within 10, 15 minutes. So that's what worked for me. I would try that.
Yeah.
The bigger gong noise is going to help with the root chakra. It's very bassy, very, like really penetrates the body. So that's going to be root chakra.
Yeah. Beautiful. Tina wrote, yes, I had endometriosis. Now my daughter called today asking about the cramps, and I told her not to own what I had for hers.
I'm not sure if I understand that last part. So endometriosis is probably nervous system at the root. And I told
I'll just
her
come on and talk. I asked you about the cramps instead of getting into the whole story, but my daughter did. I had it. I now am in menopause too. But I had it my whole life, and she Googled this morning, I guess, about how it's hereditary, and I told her I could look into some. I said, now that I know what I know, I would think light therapy, sound, all that, could help, all the different tools in my toolbox. And then I get on here with you and I'm like, I was on the right track. No, I didn't mention it to her. I just said that I had a lot of tools in my toolbox now and that I know that there's other ways to help it. But yeah, I like the idea of you even saying about the Epstein-Barr thing too. That's interesting because actually when they did test, I mean, they found stuff on my bowel and stuff, but some doctors said I didn't have it. Other ones said I did. So I don't know. I don't go to that anymore.
Well,
but as far as for my daughter to own that, but go ahead.
We know that epigenetics is a real thing. We know that Bruce Lipton is onto something when he says that it's not genetics. It's your mind and attitude that turn on and off genes. But my mom used to say, oh, the whole family is going to have diabetes because your grandma has diabetes. Now, my grandma worked on an assembly line at Ori Bakery and ate Danishes off the line all day. That's why she had diabetes. And my mom ended up having it, but my mom would give us dessert after breakfast, dessert after lunch, and dessert after dinner. And that was the lifestyle. And my boyfriend always says, I have diabetes. Well, he's Mexican and they eat a lot of tortillas and, a lot of different breads and stuff. And I said, it's not genetics, it's your lifestyle. A woman will say, my mom had breast cancer, so I'm exposed to and susceptible to breast cancer. But breast cancer is often not nurturing yourself, not taking care of yourself, not knowing how to receive. And so if you learn that from your mother, yes, you're going to have that same energy and lifestyle. So it's not genetics, it's epigenetics. So yeah, I don't really believe that anything is genetic. It's about our lifestyles and how we live and what we've learned from our parents and our grandparents and our, and our
Yeah, I'm the one.
teachers.
I'm in one in the family that walks the whole different walk because like I was. Oh, you're going to have the heart thing. Nope, not me. My mom and my grandmother both had hysterectomies by the time. I'm like, I don't care, not doing it. Like it's just my stuff's my stuff. My stuff's getting created for whatever reason, and my lessons to be learned, or my jackhammer to hit me over the head, or whatever it is. But
Well, good for you,
yeah, I
Tina.
really
I'm
believe
proud of you.
in what you have created. I wanted to say, like, I have some pictures from years ago when I first started waking up on my camera that were all egg-shaped forms. And these egg-shaped forms, the light would like glow, and then it would go in and out. And then actually, when a friend passed, I could see it going like they lived across the street, and you could see this tube and these eggs, like the whole way going up to his window. I mean, like this is sort of freaks me out. I'm like, maybe I need to get an egg thing. Maybe I need to get into business with you and do this because something's just knocking like Tina, pay attention. Is there any
It's
in Pennsylvania?
beautiful. There are some in Pennsylvania. Any location that you want to find is on my website,
Okay.
harmonicegg.com, under the location. So you can find the location.
Okay.
But there's several in Pennsylvania. And I think the egg is just such a beautiful cosmic shape, a sacred geometry, and it's where life comes from for a lot of sentient beings and in humans. We come from an egg. And it just made sense to me. We should be rebirthing in an egg.
Yeah. Well, the last time I heard you, I thought about sharing that part with you. But yeah, someday maybe I'll show you the pictures or send them to you. Some of it. It was like, what is this stuff? Like I still to this day have no idea, but there's definitely something behind what you created there. There's no doubt.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's not, I don't give myself any credit. It came through me. And
Oh, well,
just
I
like,
get that. Yeah.
yeah, just like anything
Yeah.
else that people get that comes through them. And if one person doesn't take the idea, they move on to the next person. And I was just crazy enough to be able to do it. And it's just funny because I would have people come in and it's like, you did this. I had this idea before you. I go, okay, well, you didn't do anything with it. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, the whole light, sound, everything. I mean, the whole combination is excellent. So thank you for listening to the hammer.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Tina.
Nice to meet you. Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah. Thank you, Tina. Much love. And thank you, Gail. And yeah, so Gail, thank you so much for everything you shared with us today. And do you have any message you want to share before we complete the session?
So I think we covered a lot of stuff. We didn't talk about remote healing and prayer, but I think your audience is really, really, they understand that remote healing can also be a transmission. And we didn't talk about the exchange of energy. So I just want to encourage the audience to know that abundance can be had by anybody, and money is even energy. So a lot of people that are so giving, they sometimes don't feel worthy of money, but just look at money as energy, and you're exchanging maybe your time for someone's money. It's two pieces of energy. So I just want, people to understand that, wealth is a frequency as well that you can tune into, because I find that a lot of healers and people who are giving also feel like they don't attract money. So that was another thing that I wanted to chat about. Oh, your mom's name
Thank
is
you.
Gail. I love that. It's a good name.
Beautiful. So yeah, thank you so much, Gail, for everything you shared today. Really learned a lot from you today. So thank you for all the information, for the guidance you shared with our audience. We're grateful for that. And yeah, so thank you again for being here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And also, everyone, thank you very much for being here with us today. Thank you for the comments, for the questions. Thank you for your energies, whether you are watching live or on the replay. And yeah, so again, you can find the program that Gail is offering to us, which include Awaken the Root of Healing with Harmonic Egg Wellness Tracks, plus the ebook Unlocking the Ancient Secrets to Healing. There is both the English and Spanish version. And the link is on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. It's on YouTube video description. And also you can click on the special offer button, which is on the website on the live events page and later on the replay. And the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Gail. Gail 31. GAIL and number 31. And yeah, so with that, everyone, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye. Bye for now.